Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you for joining me again today. I have got a bit of a cold, so my voice is suffering a little bit, but hopefully I'm still loud and clear for you, if not a little bit deeper and dulcet for you. Okay, but I wanted to come on and still get your video out for today. And you'll probably have realised if you watch regularly that each Friday I'm now doing my project, which is my entry into a teammate's creative colour challenges blog. So Vicky Lou Designs runs that. This is challenge number 5 already, so this is it's all picking up a momentum, and this is the interesting challenge combination we've got today. So we've got crumb cake, pumpkin pie and Pacific Point. Very interesting colours, and I have to say they didn't speak to me in any way, shape or form, but you know, that's the whole point of a challenge, to try and think outside the box and think about what you can make. The upside here is that we've got a neutral, and neutrals are always really good and tend to go with most things, so those two colours go together really well. And you know, we could probably make those work as well. It was just how could we make all three work together. And for this video as well, there is no stamping, so those ink pads were just there to show you the colours. So what I'm going to use is the Layering Hugs dies, okay, and that is all I'm using with the coloured cardstock to make cards like this. Okay, so I just wanted to do something really different. It's a bit of a different style. There's no layering for a start off, apart from the layered die cut. No background layers at all. I just went with the die cuts and the colours, okay, to make those. Could have added some Wink Stella actually, just thinking about it. So all I'm using is these two dies here. Okay, so I'm just going to take those out. So Layering Hugs is the die set. There is some other there are some other little elements in there, and these ones cut out the little tiny sentiments that are in the coordinating stamp set. So you can buy this as a bundle, so you've got a great image, which is huge. Look how big that is compared to my hand. Huge stamp there that you can stamp and colour. You can layer the die over the top, all that kind of jazz. So that can layer over the top of that to give you a layered look. Really cute. And then we've got some really lovely companion sentiments and these lovely little details too. So it's a great bundle. Obviously, if you buy the two elements together, you save 10% on the combined price, and you will find that in the annual catalogue. Okay, so those were our starting point cards. As always, I'll try and mix it up for you, give you a different option. So the ones we're going to do today, on the video with you, I'm going to use crumb cake as my card bases, and I'm going to do the two cards. Okay, so these are card bases that, you know, I cut and score from A4. So this would have started out as an A4 sheet, and because I'm using both halves, what I did was I started by scoring it at 5 7/8 of an inch, and then I cut it at 4 1/8 of an inch, and then the remaining panel is just a hair wider than 4 1/8. So you just want to take off that little bit of excess, and you just get a little bit of literally just a hair off the sides to get your 4 1/8. Okay, so two card bases ready for our dies. Ahead of time, I've already die cut my pumpkin pie elements, so I've already got the backing piece and a set of letters, so they're ready. Okay, but like I say, we're going to need another set in the Pacific Point. So I've got my bits of cardstock here. So these are just bits of scrap I found for the lettering, definitely anyway. And we're going to get those cut on the Stampin' Cut and Emboss. So we're just going to position the die onto the cardstock. This is quite a detailed die, so if you're cutting detailed dies or you are struggling to get a clean cut with detailed dies, when you build your sandwich up on your die cut machine, you'll have your base plate and your thin die adapter, number 1 and number 2, which are always present. And then I put what would normally be my top plate down first. I'm then going to put my die down facing up. So normally we would have our tatty cutting plate there, and we put it down like that. I'm going to flip it over and do it the other way around. Because I can't see them, I'm just taping them down just to make sure that they don't slip as we go through. And then I'm going to put what would normally be my bottom plate on top. So this means that the cutting edge is actually closer to the roller. It's not trying to put the pressure through the base platform or anything like that. So for a detailed die, you might want to try this particular sandwich. Okay, do you find that your plate does bend a little bit more with the increased pressure? But as with regular die cutting, I say regular die cutting, this is still regular die cutting, it's not nothing new. But if you were doing it the traditional way, shall we say, you do get some bending of your plate, and I would recommend that you you use one side and you flip it periodically so that you get even wear and tear. There's my letters, they just came out on my plate, so I'll just gather those up. I hope that made sense. So you're not constantly cutting into the same side and applying that pressure. It'll help with the life of your cutting plates. Sorry, my cold is making my words all mangled. So look, cleanly away there. I've got this little, I can keep that scrap for something else, so let's just pop that away, get rid of that. But the pieces will just kind of give it a bit of a rub and they just pretty much fall out, really, to be honest. It's incredible what a difference it makes. So a lot of that has fallen out already because it is quite a detailed die. Okay, some will stay in your actual metal die. You can just poke those out at your leisure. Let me just get rid of those because I can just see those pinging all over the place. So I'll do that later off camera because you don't want to watch me do that, do you, really? And these are just, I mean, they're still falling out, but I find that if it's die cut that crisply, if you just give it a bit of a flick, it's done. So there you go. That's not something I found out, by the way. That is a tip that I have seen around the houses, and I thought I'd give it a go. And I was actually quite surprised at how much of a difference it made to the detailed dies. So that was just very, very easy to do. So, as you might imagine, we're going to lay our orange ones on top of blue ones and vice versa, so that we are incorporating all three colours into our card. And I am going to use the multi-purpose glue for that. You're probably screaming at the screen going, use adhesive sheets. Yeah, we can use adhesive sheets, or we can just stick them down. Choice is yours. You do what is comfortable for you. But I just thought we'd just do it manually. Okay. Oh, let's position that in the correct place, shall we? Might even be upside down, but it doesn't matter. So this won't take long. Use your glue sparingly and it will dry very quickly. There's a bit of pressure on there. So if you're not into die cutting, this probably isn't the card for you, but I love die cutting. I love the fact you can get all these beautiful shapes from that piece of metal and essentially rolling it through a mangle. I find that quite fascinating, really. Some clever people out there that discover this stuff. I don't actually know who invented like die cutting and whatever. I'm sure there are people out there who will tell me. But boy, they were clever. I mean, you know, punches are great, but you would never get this level of detail out of a punch or anything like that. Probably a bit of extra glue on that really, but it dries clear anyway. That'd be fine. So there we go. Really nice and simple, and if you so wish, if you wanted to let it sit under a block for a few moments, just to make sure that was stuck down, you could of course do that. No bother at all. Right, so all we need to do is add them to the card base, and that is it. That is all I am going to do. Okay, and I'm only going to do attach them by adding glue to the backs of those letters and leave the other bits sort of free, if you like. Adds a bit of texture. Couldn't be simpler really, could it? But isn't it fun with those colours? I really didn't imagine, really couldn't imagine, I should say, what I was going to make with these colours. But lo and behold, I think they're quite pretty really. There must be a football team somewhere that has these funky colours, surely. I don't know. Okay, what did you think about then? Cool or what? How different they look. All using the same colours and the same products. Just cardstock, no ink pads whatsoever. We could have done the companion sentiments, but you know, I like to keep true to the colour challenges as much as possible. So I think that is really cool. really cool. I like them. I really like them. Okay, I'm going to leave you with that then. If you click into the description, you'll see a link to Vicky Lou's challenge. So if you wanted to have a look at that and take part at some point, you could. There'll also be links to the products I've used today. Not that there were many, but nonetheless, I will link to them. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that. In the meantime, stay safe. Hopefully this cold will have dissipated before I speak to you again over the internet vibes. Take care, stay safe. See you soon.